everybody Charlie Kirk video getting taken down, so I'm gonna try to keep it cute. The fact that they asked, what do you think is the biggest gun problem in America? And he said, are we counting gang violence? And then I guess we're not counting gang violence, because that wasn't a gang that sent that shot, was it? No, it wasn't. That wasn't even a black person that sent that shot. No. All the things that he claimed were the biggest gun problem, blacks killing blacks, that had nothing to do with his unfortunate assassination. This is the thing I don't understand about conservatives, because when I went and looked up what conservatives actually mean, it means that they value political tradition, right? But traditionally, politicians came to understand that black people were treated badly in this country. So what did they do? They passed the Civil Rights Act, which Charlie Kirk said was a mistake. He said that Martin Luther King was a horrible person. He said that if he sees a black pilot, he's going to say, oh, I hope he's qualified, because it's not likely. How can everything this man ever said, he backpedaled on? Because how can you say that blacks have the same opportunities, but then when you see a black pilot take that opportunity, you're still questioning it? This is my other problem with conservatives. They say things like, oh, racism, the biggest thing to fix racism is just to stop talking about it. First of all, I've never heard a therapist say, if you want to heal from something, you should just stop talking about it. I've never heard that. Racism was a traumatic experience for black people that affected generations from down. So the first thing they say is, oh, that was 400 years ago. It hasn't even been 400 years since. We put all this division into, oh, I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal, I'm on this, I'm that. And they say, oh, that's what, but racism is what divides us. Racism is what divides us. Everything divides us. Our beliefs divide us. I've never had a problem with being divided, actually. I'm grown enough to understand that my background and how I came up, another person and their background and how they came up, they might not understand me. That doesn't mean necessarily that they don't like me, but that means that they don't understand me, and that can cause a conflict. But instead of trying to come to some sort of conclusion to that, what do? We just throw our beliefs at each other and scarf our beliefs at each other. If police is a problem in the black community, why don't we have classes where you can go to on the weekend, where black kids can learn how to deal with police, where black kids can learn the certain laws and how to interact with law enforcement? Why don't we have that? If you are a juvenile, the most you get is community service, picking up trash on the road, or even if that. I had community service once, and all I had to do was go to the church and ask them to write it down a couple of numbers for me. I never even had to do anything. That is a broken system. I think we need to start opening up the doors to understand what a fixed system looks like. I know if it was a class on the weekend for my little black son to learn how to talk to police officers and deal with police officers so that they don't have a misunderstanding, so that you don't feel threatened and your job gets done, I would sign him right on up for that. If it means my son doesn't get killed, I would sign him right on up for that. If you are a juvenile, that should be the first recommendation for your probation or everything. You need to take a class to learn how to deal with law enforcement and everything like that. But instead, what do? We just, oh, this is a problem. This is the problem. Well, what are we going to do about it? We're just going to keep talking about how it's not a problem, or we're going to accept that it is a problem and deal with it. The last thing I'll say is a little prayer. My prayer is that Trayvon Martin's mother gets some rest tonight, that she sleeps peacefully without somebody bringing her son's name up with false claims about how he lost his life innocently just walking from the store in his own neighborhood. I pray that Martin Luther King family gets some rest, because he won't be called a horrible person. I even pray for, what's the guy named Timothy Tyler? Whoever, did the deed. I pray that God have mercy on his soul. And I do pray for Charlie Kirk's kids. I pray that they don't take the path that he did. I seen his wife say that she is going to basically come 10 times harder now. I pray that those kids get to have a life and mind of their own, and they don't have to follow in those type of footsteps.